Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Today, we are going to be taking the journey from suffering to success. And everything that I'm going to share with you today is just some ideas that can help move you along the path um, in understanding what the root cause of suffering usually is and how to bridge the gap from suffering over to success. So, first thing we're going to understand is what are some of the root causes of suffering? Well, it ultimately comes down to attachment. It's attachment to people, it's attachment to places, it's attachment to material things, it's attachment to outcomes, and ultimately it's attachment to the past. The past is a really big one, and we saved that one for last. But I'm going to go through each one and give you some clarity. So, some examples of people caused suffering. Someone you loved is no longer in your life. This could be a friendship that maybe has ended, or it could be a relationship that has ended. And you've just kind of gone your separate ways, but you really loved that person. They were a huge part of your life, and now they're no longer there. And there's a little bit of pain and suffering. Sometimes, if this happens in a manner in which anger or frustration's involved, it kind of bridges that gap and causes this type of suffering to kick in. Then we have someone who's not acting or behaving in a way you believe that they should. So this might be someone close to you. Sometimes parents have ideas as to how their children should act or behave, or, friends have expectations of other friends. And then this is a root of suffering because maybe that person's not treating you the way you want them to. And that's a source of the suffering. Someone that hurts you. This is a big one because people hurt us, and this happens throughout the entire course of your life. You will have people come in, someone may say something that kind of hurts your feelings. And in worst cases, it could be an abusive relationship, someone that's really hurtful and something major that has occurred. And then we have someone who has passed away. A lot of times we lose a loved one, and that's our main source for suffering. We really kind of grieve and miss that person, and we wish we did things differently. We have an abundance of regret, um, or just wishing that the scenario was a different scenario. Like maybe they didn't pass away the way you thought they should leave, the earth. Maybe it was a sudden death or something along the lines of that. So someone who's passed away. And then someone you may be experiencing resentment towards, or jealousy or envy towards. We carry this, these types of behaviors with us. And they're all learned behaviors. Somebody taught us how to be jealous, somebody taught us how to be envious of someone else. They're all learned pattern behaviors. So it's just kind of recognizing what the source point of suffering really comes from. And now we have places. So examples of attachments to places might be a place you grew up. Um, Maybe it's a building that you had that no longer exists. It's a feeling of belonging to a certain place. We notice this in, like, certain parts of the world where people feel like they belong there. It's theirs. A place that we identify or build an emotional connection with. So there are many places on earth that we build some type of emotional connection with. This usually occurs through childhood, parents instilling into you, this is yours, this is your people, this is your land, those types of things. Places will cause a level of emotional suffering. It can definitely do that. And then there's material things that we wish to acquire. Maybe we're not getting them fast enough. Material things that we may have lost. loss, could be something someone's stolen from you. Maybe you had a ton of stuff and then you lost it. You went through a bankruptcy, whatever it is, whatever it might be. These are material things that we get attached to. We ultimately always want some level of security, and the material things make us feel secure. It ultimately is a false sense of security, but it is a root cause of suffering. And then there's always, jealousy for others that have things that we maybe don't have. That's also a cause of suffering. And then there's outcomes. So we really get attached to an idea of what the outcome should look like for our lives. We notice this, sometimes a young girl might say, I want to be married by a certain age, and then this doesn't happen. And she's attached to the outcome. And then there's like, there's a level of anxiety or failure just based on being attached to this idea of what this outcome should look like. And it doesn't work out that way. So life's not always going the way you planned it. Something derails your path and someone disappoints you. We can't control others. We can only control ourselves. But every once in a while, we get attached to the idea of the outcome, and that attachment is a point of suffering. And then last is the past. The past is a big one. Examples of past attachments is like constantly reliving and replaying past scenarios, and then constantly thinking about how things could have been different. Comparing your past to others whose lives look like it was better than yours. It really isn't. Everybody's got their own struggles, but sometimes we only see the good because people just present the good. You don't see the struggle behind it because they don't present the struggle. And then creating a victim narrative about why you are the way that you are because of the past. This is a big thing. For whatever reason, we think that we're not accomplishing something because maybe our parents didn't give us what we needed. Maybe it was someone that stopped us from getting a promotion, or whatever the case is. Just that type of attachment where we label it, we attach it to somebody. It's a past situation, but the situation constantly is relived by us. So just recognizing past situations that you may be dealing with or encountering on a regular basis, just kind of flowing through your mind. This requires awareness. We have to open up our mind and understand what is going on in our minds, and get to know your mind, and understand what it is exactly. The better you get at pinning it down, the better you get at resolving it. Here we have how to break away from suffering. Identify with clarity what causes your pain. Who did it? Then there's a solution, and it seems very simple. It says, forgive them. Those who know better do better. It's really simple, but it's not always easy to do. And I recognize that. Who did it is just acknowledging that someone did something. The importance in understanding who did it is because sometimes as we look at who did it, we may see patterns start to emerge in our life in which we notice that maybe there are multiple people that did this thing, this not good thing that hurt you. And what actually causes things to happen repetitiously is never addressing the first time it happened and engaging in those thoughts and feelings that caused you the pain the first time it happened. And because you didn't address it, you were using most likely imagination to imagine and fearing that situation. So you're putting imagination towards fear and not putting it towards healing and forgiveness. Now, what happened? Let it go because you can't change it. Again, sounds simple enough, but sometimes what happened is very traumatic and it scares us, and it dictates our life. It dictates our daily living, and we're really living in a cloud in which, a cloud of depression pretty much because of what happened. And it's easy to say, let it go. Do consider if you feel like you need more levels of unpacking this, by all means, get a therapist, get someone to help you work through some of these feelings. We're mindset coaching. I do mindset coaching, but I just want people to be aware of some of the root causes of suffering because for us to set our mind up for success, we have to look at what we're unpacking and what challenges we have. And then we have where did it happen? Sometimes removing yourself from the environment, if possible, is a good way to deal with where it happened. It's not always running away from it, but acknowledging that if you're trying to overcome it, removing yourself from the situation is your first step. And then what were my expectations? Were they good? Were they bad? Don't judge yourself as you become aware of these expectations that you may be having. And you may have good expectations, and those expectations were not met, and then you're disappointed. Or you may have bad expectations in which you thought something was going to go wrong and it happened. Don't judge yourself under that type of situation either. This is just an opening your awareness exercise. Is there still residual trauma? Work with a coach if you feel like there's residual trauma. Work with a therapist, get a good coach, get somebody that you can relate to, somebody that's gone through your struggles, and is there to guide you on the right path. I really recommend getting a coach versus talking to friends because they don't usually know what they're talking about and their perception might be skewed based on their view of your situation. So getting a coach will be able to give you some great feedback without knowing everything other than knowing what you've presented to them as your challenges. Acknowledgement and acceptance. This is your first step to getting out of this space of suffering. We always want to acknowledge we're never saying no, it didn't happen or it didn't happen that way. We're acknowledging it. Okay, it happened. It's a part of life. We go through these challenging moments in our life and we just have to accept it. We can't change the past. So this is really where I stress acceptance because we can't change the past. So we have to accept it and we just have to move forward. Joe Dispenza, if you could trade fear, frustration, resentment, and suffering for an elevated emotion, a truly open heart, and practice doing that, it will heal. The moment you start feeling whole, your healing begins. The emotion is the handmaiden to the creative process. This statement is so true. He's got a fantastic, he's got many fantastic books out there, but he really goes into helping people to understand how to break some of these past situations, and some of his books I highly recommend. One of the big questions I always encourage everybody to ask themselves is, do I have control over this situation? So as you're presented with these very challenging situations, the first thing you really want to know is, do I have control over this situation? And if the answer to that is yes, then take action and make the changes. Just take action. There's no need to wait. There's nothing to wait for. Take note and say, okay, I have control over this. I'm going to take action. Don't be shy about it. Be bold. Walk boldly in the light that you want to experience in your life. If the answer is no, let go of what you cannot change. And get into the practice of choosing to let go of it. This is a conscious choice. We have to choose to let go of things. Richard Buckminster Fuller said, he's a famous architect and an author, and he said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. This is so powerful because when you build a new model, you're building a new model of your reality. So in your mind, you're building a new model of how you wish to think and how you wish to change. This is a new mindset. This is setting your mind up for success in the manner in which you wish to see it unfold in your life. Now, to build a new model, there's a few steps. First, you want to rewrite your narrative. So that's where a therapist may come in, and you may be able to really uncover and unpack some of the stuff that is bothering you. If you're not working with a therapist and you're just able to write it down and say, hey, let me be analytical here. This is what bothers me the most. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what I think about on a regular basis. And this is where my fears, my worries, my doubts all stem from. Then I encourage you to make a list of what a life without suffering looks like. So if those things are what's bothering you, what would a life without it look like? And really build in writing what that life would look like. Would you wake up happy every day? Would you be excited about life every day? What does that look like? And then what types of thoughts, feelings, and emotions would you be experiencing in this new self, this new life of yours? So really give thoughts as to what your predominant thoughts are versus the way you currently are thinking, what your predominant feelings might feel like versus what you're currently feeling, and what your predominant emotions would be versus what you're currently feeling emotionally. And then what type of people would you be surrounded by? This is very important because the people that you surround yourself by is your energetic vibrational frequency. Like they keep you on a high vibration or they drag you into a low vibration. So what type of people would you be surrounded by? And then where would you be? What does your ideal life look like? Where would you be in life? What would you be doing? Ask yourself all these questions and try to build yourself a new model. And as you build yourself a new model, build it in a space in which you're writing everything down and you know what the new model of your life looks like. And you put it in a place that you're committed to looking at it over and over again and reviewing it over and over again. Create goals. If you have not created goals up until this point in life, really start with small goals and then take on bigger goals and then commit yourself to life goals. Commit yourself to how you want to see your life lived in 5 years, in 10 years. You always want to have a plan. You want to have a plan for the future and you want to be able to envision what your future life really looks like. So start small, build bigger goals, and then commit yourself to life goals. Intentional living, intention is like the small dose of goals. That's the way I kind of look at it. It's very important though, because set an intention for everything. When you get up in the morning, set an intention for your day. When you go to bed at night, set an intention for the next day, or maybe even set an intention to have a good night's rest. Um, Set time-specific intentions. I do this, and this is something that I absolutely love to do. I will give myself an hour to do a task and just go jump in and dive in and do the task. And it gets me really excited to do it. And because I've given myself that time window, I just jump right in and I just get it done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So set some time-specific intentions and then create productive routines. So productive routines are structure to your day. When you build your day in a structured way, it allows you to be more creative. It gives you the time that you want to allot for the different areas of your life, especially if you're a busy person, there's children around, and there's a lot going on. You want to create productive routines. The better you get at creating these routines, the easier it is for everyone to fall in line with your routines or know where you'll be within your routines. So building routines are great. Build a habit of creating intentions before you tackle any task. I mean, even going out driving, like set intentions before you drive. Set intentions of safety, set intentions for protection, set intentions on every aspect of your life. Set intentions to be efficient with your time. Set intentions to get a lot accomplished. Everything that you take a moment just before you do it and you set an intention towards it, it makes it just flow a lot easier. So become intentional in everything that you're going to do. If you're going to go spend time with friends, give yourself a time limit. If you're going to tackle a work task, give yourself a time limit. When you get into the habit of doing this, it just makes life a lot more manageable. And then we talk about how to measure success. The key thing that you want to measure is, did your present reality change? And what changes have occurred in your daily life? Primary areas that reflect change is, what are your thoughts looking like? What are your feelings looking like? Where are your emotions? What type of actions are you taking? And is your attitude a good attitude? So these are things that you want to measure. So you want to measure what your thoughts are. If you were taking notes and you're observing your mind, then you're realizing, oh, my thoughts were really negative. And today they're a lot more positive. So that's how you're going to measure your success, is look at your thoughts, look at your feelings, your emotions, and your actions. And always take inventory. Take inventory of where you're at, what your thoughts are, what you're feeling. Take inventory of that and keep a log of it, because as you seek to change and seek to embrace this higher vibrational frequency that you want to live and you want to achieve and you want to break away from the suffering, then you need to take inventory as to what's causing the suffering, and are those thoughts still dominant in your mind? Are they still impacting you? Affirmations support change and sustain long-term results when you are consistent. Affirmations are the key. They're like the secret to everything. You want to affirm it to yourself. You want to listen to affirmations. You want to write your affirmations. As immersive as you can get in this realm of affirmations, I would encourage you to do, because affirmations really will make or break the situation at the end of the day. That's whether or not your subconscious mind is able to receive the information. It's through affirmations. Now we dive into thoughts. As you observe your thoughts, are the thoughts you think different from the thoughts you used to think? So start to take inventory of stuff like that, and keeping records. Like I said, journaling is a great way to do this. You kind of measure where your thoughts used to be, and then you recognize that your thoughts are no longer in that space and that you've overcome. I want you to really celebrate those successes, because every bit that you do, every time you move the marker, it's impressive. Do the dominant thoughts align with your goal? So if 70% of your day is spent on thoughts of the past or on situations that you cannot change, and only 30% of your day is spent thinking about your goals, statistically, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you want that number to be reversed or even greater when it comes to your goals. You want you want to make it immersive. You want to have fun with it. You still want to live in the present moment. It's not to take away time from the present moment, but you always want to have that aspiration, that goal. That goal is really what gets us excited every day, and it gives you purpose to your life. Always ask yourself, will your thoughts get you to your goals? So are the thoughts that I'm thinking every day, are they getting me closer to my goal, or are the thoughts not in alignment? If the thoughts are immersed in like fear and worry and doubt, it's not in alignment with a goal. A goal is a clear set intention, and it's a target that you're going after. So a negative thought towards it will not bring you closer to the goal. It's going to bring you closer to the goal not working out. So start to recognize whether or not the thoughts that you're thinking, the predominant thoughts that are running through your mind on a regular basis, if they're going to get you to your goals. And then we have feelings. Open up your awareness to your feelings. Feelings occur in the body. So if you have worry and doubt, you may feel the feeling in your gut. If you're experiencing anger, you may feel your heart rate start to go a little bit faster and your upper shoulders kind of tighten. And these are all feelings that we feel. It's called a feeling because it's expressed through the body. So, are your feelings in alignment? Really understand that you can't be feeling anger and then say have a thought because your mind is saying, well, we have to choose happy, 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 but your feelings in your body are tense and it's not in alignment. We have to get thoughts and then feelings together into a beautiful alignment. And then when those two align, you will start to feel just a lot of things falling into place in a very easy manner because you will notice that you have an elevated thoughts and you've got elevated feelings and you're now feeling happiness and your body is feeling happiness and you now have expectation and excitement for your future and your outcome, and these are elevated feelings that we want to experience. And you want to make sure that the body feels at peace and at ease and relax. If the body is relaxed, then, the happiness just flows into the body. And then we have emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. It is the marriage of the thoughts and the feeling that creates the emotion. Emotion is your pointer. It is like your laser pointer. When you really want to bring something into your life, you have to be able to control your emotional space and be aware of your emotional space. Because negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions will not get you there. You're going to need to have elevated thoughts, feelings, and emotions because if you're happier, whether it works out or it doesn't work out, you're happy, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So keeping yourself emotionally attached and detaching from the idea of the outcomes, but having expectations that it will work out is the path forward. And then we have actions. Take action by making a clear commitment to your success. Nothing happens until we take action. So when we take action, think about it as though you're really sending a signal out to the universe, to God. You're saying, I'm committed to this. This is what I want to see happen in my life. So this is a commitment and I'm taking the action. I'm making it clear that this is what I am committed to doing. The process of having thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions all in alignment really moves you and pushes you forward. And it's a really beautiful alignment when you start to see intuition kicks in and it kind of guides you, and you see doors open that were previously closed. And this is where the magic kind of happens. They all work together to get you the results. That's what yields you an attitude of gratitude. Bob Proctor says that. I love that. Attitude of gratitude. Um, we have this cute puppy and you can't help but stare at him and he'll like make your attitude perfect. Attitude is the result of the combination of thoughts and feelings and actions. So when we marry those three together, we get attitude. Here is where your attitude towards life comes from. And if you have a great attitude and you're living on a higher level of expectancy and goal oriented and intentional living, then everything just falls into place in a very beautiful manner. It's important to understand that repetition equals results. So anything that we do repetitiously, repeat the same thoughts, repeat the same elevated feelings, repeat the same elevated emotions, repeat the same elevated actions, and the same happy attitude. And every day you will soon have a new personality and a different personal reality. So your personality is really going to change as you keep yourself in an elevated space and you use repetition. If repetitiously you're able to navigate your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. Now, as you take this task on of being experiencing more elevated feelings, you may notice a day comes along and you're down, and this is completely normal. There's nothing to freak out about if that happens. You just take note, okay, today I'm feeling a little bit down. Sometimes it comes from nutrition, sometimes it comes from external environment, sometimes it comes from internal environment. So it's just understanding that you may have a down day. It's not the end of the world if you experience it. But just know that you want to make sure that you're nurturing yourself during that downtime. If it's, you know, taking a nice long bath, or if it's going to get a massage, whatever it might be, do something nice, do something loving, caring for your body when you're in that space so that you can start to recoup, recover, and get yourself back into great thoughts, great feelings, great emotions, and great actions. Reward yourself. When you have achieved a big goal, give yourself some love. Just give yourself, like, whatever it is that makes you happy, give yourself a reward. If you've tackled a really big goal and you realize that you've overcome, some challenges that might be going on in the mind, and you've overcome it and you're feeling great about it, give yourself a little reward. It's okay. Here at Sublime Knowledge, we offer free affirmation workshops. I encourage everybody to sign up for these. These are phenomenal workshops that really target your unique needs. And we also have an app in the shop section on sublimeknowledge.com that will allow you to plug in anything that you may be challenged with, and it will give you a ton of affirmations to help take you to the next level, make your life a little bit more easier to navigate, and give you the right wording. Sometimes we have a difficult time understanding how we should word affirmations. And we have a platform to help you with that and help you work through some of those challenges. Also, speaking with a mindset coach will also open up the doors to someone else just kind of seeing what your repetitious complaints or struggles might be. And then we're able to know what area we really need to unpack and kind of target. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope this adds value to your life. Do leave a message, let us know, reach out to us, let's talk, let's set up a phone call. And I wish you an abundance of happiness every single day. Make every day your greatest day ever.